Still getting YouTube up and at 'em. Oh, we're good. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Lives with me, Dr. Jarod Ward, where you can submit your holistic education questions, and I will do my very best to give some background, some educational information so that you can help you and your family live a healthier, more root cause treating life. All right. Let's get started. So, what are some questions today? Sorry, so I have cats and sometimes they get a little crazy in the background, so just bear with me. Let's see. Let's start. First question. Have you ever heard of fulvic acid? Okay, someone's asking, is fulvic acid, what are my thoughts on fulvic acid used as a binder after treating parasites? Okay, so on social media, parasites are really popular. Everyone likes to talk about doing parasite cleanses, and maybe you've seen some scary pictures of people passing parasites in their stool when they do a parasite cleanse. I have a lot of patients who are pulling worms out of themselves that are about 12 inches long, okay? I think a lot of cysts in the body, whether the cyst is on the brain or the thyroid or the liver or whatever, is actually a parasite nest. Because when I do parasite protocols on people with cysts and they get an ultrasound before and after, the cysts shrink after I do parasite protocols. So that's pretty fascinating. But whenever you're killing off bad guys, right? When you're coming in, okay, pardon my military analogies, but when you're coming in, you're like, and you're shooting all the bad guys, you need something else to come in and clean it up, right? And this is what, in general, we would call this cleanup crew a binder. There's lots of different binders. One of the most commonly used ones is fulvic acid or humic acid. They'll use those together a lot of times. I don't have a problem with it. I think they're good. They're strong. So if you know, I might use something gentler with people like Spanish black radish, which is another nice binder. But in general, fulvic acid, great. So if you're interested in an amazing parasite cleanse, and you want to get the worms out of your body because you most likely have them. One of the gurus of modern anti-parasitology, he always says, if you have a pulse, you have a parasite. So, yep, might as well deworm yourself because you don't want a plethora of parasites. Okay. Anyways. So that's that. If you're interested in a parasite cleanse, I have a really great one. Go ahead and comment worms, and we'll get you a link to the parasite cleanse. It's beautiful, okay? Tells you exactly how to do it, exactly what to take. It has a binder. It has everything you need. And if you want, pilfer through your poop and pull out the worms. So get a pair of chopsticks and go to town, my friends. But you don't have to, but some people do, and it's wild. So, all right, moving on. No more pilfering poop on this Monday night. Happy New Year, everybody. Vibration plates, health benefits. Do I recommend? These are all the rage right now on social media. For whatever reason, everyone's getting a vibration plate or a walking pad. Those are both really good. But vibration plate, yeah, I think they're awesome. Why are they awesome? Okay. Your body becomes strong with stress. Vibration plates are awesome because of 3 reasons. They create stronger cells because when you shake a cell, say that 7 times fast, shake a cell, shake a cell, shake a cell. When you shake a cell, you encourage the cell to build a stronger structure. When you have stronger structured cells, you have stronger tissue, stronger organs, stronger body. So that's great. That's number 1. Number 2, lymphatic drainage. Every time you vibrate your body, it helps stimulate the lymphatic system. When your lymphatic system drains, you detox better, your immune system stronger, you get rid of fat better as well. So that's an excellent reason to do a vibration plate. And then thirdly, this kind of goes along with the first point, but bone density. So a lot of people, especially women, begin struggling with bone density when their hormones plop off. And I've talked about osteoporosis and osteopenia, which are conditions when your bones aren't dense enough before. So you can check on my Instagram for the video where I talk all about why that happens and how it's related to adrenal glands and vitamin C and calcium and magnesium and boron and manganese and all these different components. But all that to say, vibration plate can create that stress on the bone cells to trigger stronger bones. So that's that. So yeah, I would recommend it. Is it my first thing that I would get in, at home? No, I think lifting weights would probably be more beneficial, more bang for your buck, but it's a good tool if you want to get one. And they're not that expensive from my understanding. All right. Someone says toddler still has eczema and dermatitis flares despite removing confirmed allergens. Right, because you're allergic because of leaky gut, right? So when bits of food leak into the bloodstream when they're not properly digested because of leaky gut, because of gut inflammation, your body develops an allergy. So if you stay away from those allergens, great, but you're still not fixing the leaky holes in the gut that it leaked through, right? So if you're not fixing that root cause of the leaky gut shows up in leaky skin, often as eczema or dermatitis. Also, sometimes chronic skin issues I've found in my practice, like it's just like really weird. They're not clearing up. I don't know what's why. Like they cleared up for a little bit and like it's going according to plan and it's just stubborn. And no matter what we do, usually when that happens, almost 100% of the time it's mold exposure and the people have mold in their home. And because if you're constantly exposed to mold, you're going to get mycotoxins or mold toxins in your lymphatics, and it's going to constantly irritate your skin and your immune system. So that's also something to consider. If you've already worked on healing the leaky gut and you're still getting eczema flares, then consider mold in the home. So that's where I would start. Next, someone asked PEMF, what does it do and how does it work? So PEMF stands for Pulse Electromagnetic Field. And basically we have one at the office that's made by a company called Pulse. And then I have a take-home rental that's really great made by Centropix. But basically what it does is it sends a healing electrical signal into the body. So cells run off of energy. And when you have that electromagnetic frequency hit the body and hit the cells, it revs up the cell and stimulates the cell faster to make more energy. And when the body makes more energy, when the mitochondria are working better, the cells detox better and they repair everything better. So the EMF begins sounding like snake oil because it can help, like I've had sprained ankles get better. I've seen fractures get better. I've seen lumbar compression fractures get better on it. And then, of course, you can use it for like infections. I even have a patient who has fatty liver disease, and we put the PEMF and we target the liver, and he feels it pulse in his liver. And we're tracking his liver improvement with labs over time because we're stimulating the cells to function better. And when your cells get well, when you fix the cell, you will get well, which is another quote from one of my mentors, but it's just true. So that's how PEMF works. It's excellent. It's also because it's fixing the cells and it's stimulating cellular detox. I also consider it one of the most powerful things to regularly use to prevent the big C word, tumors, cancer, etc. So that's what I like about PEMF. PEMF, I think, is one of the number one things. What is one of the number one things that you can do to prevent cancer? PEMF. Once a month, once a week, as much as you can. It's great. Okay. Speaking of the big C word, someone says, my mom and mother-in-law both had breast cancer. Any supplements they should be taking? If you look at research, Korean ginseng is a really great supplement to help reduce the incidence of different types of cancer. They did a study on large Korean population, and those who drank ginseng tea had about half the rates of cancer in the population as those who did not. So that's something to consider. It's very antioxidant based. Something to consider when it comes to breast cancer. Breast cancer has a lot of lymphatic tissue. So one of my mentors would always say, whenever you have a cancer case, you have a liver case, because when there's toxins accumulating in the body, over time, it's going to lead to irritation, and irritation turns to tumors. I also think parasites can sometimes be a root cause of cancer diagnoses because, again, anything that is chronically irritating to the body is going to stimulate irritation so much that eventually the cells just flip out and they change and they turn into a rapidly aggressive form of their own selves, and that's when you get a tumor, right? So that's what I would say about that. So anything that you can do to help promote detox, balance the immune system, and help with lymphatics is going to help you resist the development of cancer and or support the body that has it or has had it. All right, next question. This one's interesting. If you have a if you have a very rancid pH in the body and you smell even after the shower, what supplements would help you get rid of it? All right. So let's see. I think Jaime asked this one. Basically, so if you're still smelling rough after a shower, what can we do? All right, there's a couple of things here. First of all, the one thing that you might want to consider is I'm really sensitive. My nose is pretty sensitive. When someone smells kind of like sour milk, that's usually a candida overgrowth. People who have candida overgrowth are usually people who like to eat a lot of sugar because candida loves sugar. And when there's a lot of sugar in the blood, the candida grows. So it's like this vicious cycle. Okay, so if that's what's going on, you might want to consider seeing if you have a candida overgrowth. And so there's different ways there's different things you can do to help bring that down. Liver work, because liver clears out toxins. And when you're toxic, you stink. That's just how it is. And then also an internal deodorizer is chlorophyll. So I like using chlorophyll complex from Standard Process. You can get at the link in my bio. That also really soothes the gut lining. It helps nourish your red blood cell production, and it is an internal deodorizer. So something to consider. All right, someone says, baby, we got a baby here. There's a baby, 8 months old, hiccups every night. It can last 2 hours. What are my thoughts? I would first check the upper cervical alignment of the baby, because there's a nerve that comes out of the upper neck called the vagus nerve, and it controls part of the throat musculature. And if it's happening at night and lasting that long, and it's not triggered by any type of food or any type of positioning, it just makes me wonder if there's a little bit of a misalignment in the neck that's causing a slight misfire of that nerve that is then causing irregularity in the throat, in the musculature, in the neck and throat. So that's what I would consider. Try chiropractic. If that doesn't help, we'll see. Speaking of babies, baby who can't sleep through the night. This is what we tried. Chiropractic. We were doing chiropractic. We were doing a lot of things through mama, because baby's still breastfeeding. You know what helped baby sleep through the night? Calcium. I don't know why, but it nourishes the brain. It nourishes the nervous system. And so when I got the baby on a powdered form of calcium, started sleeping through the night. That was super cool, because we were working on that for a while, and I was like, okay, let's try calcium, because everyone's different, right? Even babies. And so that's why I like when parents or patients come in and they get frustrated because we didn't solve it within like 1 or 2 visits. I'm just like, you got to hang in there with me. There's no way that I will nail it the first time every time. We'll get close. You might get halfway there. But anyways, so yes, I would try baby with hiccups, upper neck, baby who can't sleep. Always answers chiropractic, because nervous system regulation. If you can help the nervous system regulate, you help everything function better. It's like rebooting the computer. Every time you get adjusted, rebooting, organizing, charging your batteries, helping things move and flow. Every time you get your neck adjusted, it helps your brain wash itself and clean itself, helps you be your best self. Every time you get adjusted, it stimulates the immune system. It's amazing. So whenever I'm giving recommendations, I'm assuming that you know the value of the adjustment. Which maybe I shouldn't assume that, but it's just the foundation of boosting your body and enhancing function. All right. Someone asked, kidneys are making kidney stones. Should I cut off dairy? Not necessarily, because they're worried about calcium. So the body puts calcium on anything that's inflamed, generally. That's why, like, if you tear your muscle and you don't do proper physical therapy, you'll get calcification of tendons, right? Or if you have plantar fasciitis, if for a really long time, you'll get a heel spur. right? Because it's calcium building up on those fibers. If you are getting calcium buildup in the kidney, usually it's because the kidneys have been inflamed with either an infection or they've been toxic for way too long. And so the body starts accumulating calcium to try to neutralize the inflammation. Same thing with like calcium in your arteries, right? The arteries have been inflamed a really long time and the body's like, I'm tired of this being on fire. I'm just going to throw some concrete on it, right? So whenever you have too much calcium, it's usually not because you're eating too much calcium. It's because there's something else going on that is attracting the calcium deposits. So look a little deeper. Don't just cut out dairy, although that might be good because dairy can be inflammatory for some people. But yeah, so I would look for kidney infection, kidney detoxification, etc. And if you need more help with that, you can let me know. But things I would try to detoxify the kidney, there's a product called Alboplex or Arginex. Both of those are really good, so much so that when I first give them to people that have a lot of chronic kidney toxicity buildup, their urine either is orange or brown for a little while when they first start because the kidney is purging all that biotoxin burden. So that's, pretty cool stuff. So that's where I would start. The opposite of calcium is phosphorus. So if you want to kind of like pull some of it off with the opposite mineral, that would be something to try while you're also working on repairing the organ and calming down the irritation or inflammation or toxicity. So hope that helps, guys. That was all my questions today. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a great Happy New Year. Shameless plug, today is my last day to join my group-led liver cleanse. I honestly don't know if I'm going to do a group one again, guys. So if you want to be part of a group and have some guidance, join this one because I might not do it again. I might not have live calls with it again. So you won't regret it. You'll probably lose about 10 pounds, but more energy, better clarity, balanced hormones, etc., etc. Always here to help you. You don't have to buy from me if you don't want to. Just want to help make the world a healthier place. Side note, did you guys see that the US updated the childhood vaccine schedule recommendations? They rolled it back. We are now mimicking Denmark, everybody, a more research-based vaccine schedule, I would suggest. There are certain ones that are no longer recommended every year. For example, the COVID vaccine was taken off the childhood schedule, and so was the flu. So that is pretty cool and pretty exciting because why hijack immune systems when you don't have to, right? But anyways, I digress. That was pretty fascinating news. Just wanted to share that. Hope you all are well and see you next week.